Hey, it's your open source advocate, and I'm back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about the end of Windows 10 support. This is going to be a very quick video. It's more of a PSA. So Windows 10 support has ended. If you have Windows 10 in your system, you will not get updates unless you pay an extra special fee to get Microsoft to do some kind of extended support for you. So I would really recommend that you find something that's going to get updates. Windows 10 is not it. Windows 7 is not it. Windows Vista is not it. Windows XP is not it. So you really should find something that's going to be updated and more secure. Now you can move to Windows 11 if your hardware has a special chip that is required to move to Windows 11, and your Windows 10 system's probably been telling you that for years. In fact, Windows 12 will probably be coming out soon and you'll probably have to do that. But if you have hardware that was working perfectly fine and doesn't happen to have that chip and doesn't have the option to move to Windows 11, I don't think you should throw your hardware away and go buy new hardware because Microsoft decided that it didn't want to support your perfectly good hardware anymore with their new operating system. So there's a few things about this change. One, Windows will not receive any more security updates. You really need to understand that. That's a big thing because Windows is a huge target for attacks, for malware, for spyware, for viruses, for everything you can think of, for ransomware. It will not get any more updates for security. You should not continue using this operating system if you're smart. Windows 11 and 12 will soon have a feature installed called Recall. This is number 2. Recall will be turned on by default at some point, and Recall takes a picture of your screen every second and uploads it to Microsoft's cloud. Microsoft then uses AI to look at your screen and scan it for information to provide a better advertising experience to you. Now, they say advertising, but this also opens it up to government subpoenas. This also opens it up to all kinds of other misuse. It opens it up to hackers who are definitely going to be trying to get into this system to grab all of your data. So think about it. If you access your bank, if you access your medical records, if you access anything from your computer, then this is vulnerable. You should also be concerned about whether your doctors, your hospitals, your banks, your other institutions use Windows 11 and Windows 12 because it's going to have Recall installed and it's going to be enabled. Now Microsoft will tell you, hey, here's a switch so you can turn off Recall. And I'm sure there will be a switch there, and I'm sure you can tick it, and I'm sure it will look like it's off, and I'm sure that at some point it will just not work anymore. It will be broken. Or it will get re-enabled every time you run an update. And they won't tell you that it re-enabled, they'll just have it on until you realize it's on and then you try to turn it off again. I fear for this setting being in any kind of operating system. I don't believe this is a positive thing in any way, shape, or form. I think it's a great way for them to grab all of your data, for them to grab private data, personal data, financial data, medical data. I think it's a horrible, horrible idea, and I think that it's going to get abused. I don't want to be the person that's on the receiving end of that abuse for sure. Now that I've given you all the bad things about Windows 10 support ending and what's up next, let's go to some solutions. So you can always do Mac OS. If you're going to buy new hardware, you might as well buy new hardware and buy Mac OS and get really good hardware, and then Mac OS will eventually get better and then worse and then better and then worse, like it always does. It's just the cycle. Mac OS is really not bad, you just have to get used to it. If you're looking for a straight up one-to-one replacement for Windows, have I got an answer for you? There is none. You will never find a one-to-one replacement for Windows. It's called Windows. That's the only option you have if that's really what you have to have. But if you're looking for something that has a really good user experience, if you're looking for a system that has the capability to look like Windows and act in many ways like Windows, but give you even more power and flexibility over your system, then I recommend Zorin OS. Their new version 18 has just landed. It's based on a long-term support version of Ubuntu, which is great, which means it gets 5 years of support before they push you to an upgrade, and usually you get about 3 years out of Zorin before they push you to a new upgrade, and usually their upgrades are rock solid and just really, really great. They have different theming, so you can make it look like Windows 10, or you can make it look more like a Linux system, or you can make it definitely look like a Linux system, or a little bit more like a Mac system, and you can do all kinds of customizations to it. You get all kinds of really great features in these things. Now, I get it. A lot of you are going, but I like Windows. I use Windows. Windows is the thing I have. I get it. That's what came in your computer. Nobody has control over that, unfortunately, apparently. So you're stuck with it, right? No, it's not hard to put Linux on your machine. That's not what this video is about, but it's not hard. There's 1,000, if not 10,000 videos out there about how to get Linux onto your machine. So my recommendation is take all of your personal data, everything that's in your folders, in your My Documents, My Pictures, My Music, My Videos, whatever, wherever you've put it, on your desktop, wherever you've put it on your Windows machine, and back that up to an external hard drive. And then unplug that hard drive and don't plug it back in. And then go and get a Linux distro on a USB key and install it on your machine, and then try it out for a little while. and plug in that hard drive and just access your data from the external hard drive. Linux will probably be able to read it with no problem. You'd have to have it formatted in a really weird way for Linux to not read it, actually. And you can access those files and do things with those files just like you should. You're going to have a great experience. I can almost guarantee you your system is going to seem to run faster with Linux on it. You can game. You can do Office applications. You can do your online, if you need Microsoft Word specifically, use the online version in the browser. They have Chrome, they have Chromium, they have Firefox, they have Brave, they have Vivaldi, they have Opera, they have 100 different browsers for Linux that you can go pick the one that you like the best and use it. But you can definitely access a lot of your stuff in the browser these days. You don't have to have installed applications. Now, a lot of people like installed applications, and I get that. This video is sponsored by me. That's right. Did you know that I wrote a novel? I did. And it's a science fiction novel. It follows a guy named Dave, who's a pretty normal guy with a normal job, who happens to fall into a little bit of a less normal job, but doesn't realize it. He goes on some incredible adventures. He has some really cool things that he has to get done. It's just a passion project. I think you're going to love it. It's an action. It's an adventure. It's just so much fun. I understand if you don't want to do Patreon or PayPal, but maybe you'd like to get something out of some money that you're donating back to me. So by buying a book, you're paying me back, and at the same time, you're getting something out of it. You can jump over to Amazon. I'll have links in the description. You can jump over and get the ebook, the paperback, or the hardcover. I'll have links for as many countries as I can get links for, so no matter where you are, you can get a copy of the book. It is English only. It has not been translated. I just do want to put that out there, but I hope you'll get it. I hope you'll enjoy it, and let me know that you enjoyed it as well. Now let's get back to the program. I also recommend, if you haven't tried it, try out LibreOffice in Linux. It is really, really good. It is a super solid option, and it can do some really amazing stuff. Now again, if you're a financial wizard and you have to have all these weird Excel VB macros that you've built over the last 20 years, it's not going to work for you. I don't expect you to go use this thing. But if you're one of the 95% of people who just barely need a Word editor and some kind of spreadsheet because you like to write stuff down in lists, then definitely the LibreOffice suite is going to work for you. If you're somebody who does lightweight gaming, even some decent AAA gaming with a graphics card, you can do a lot of that these days on Steam with Linux, and it's amazing. You own your games, you're not renting them anymore. It's incredible. You get to download the game and have it on your system. You can even use a Steam Link to wirelessly send it to other things on your network, or wired send it to other things on your network and play with other different devices. I mean, there's so much out there that you can do with Linux these days that it's just amazing. Everybody thinks that Linux is the terminal, and it's not. It's because that's the server, and that's what you see in a lot of the videos that I make, for instance. But Linux has amazing graphical desktops. I recommend just stick with the one that comes with Zorin, try it out, see what you think. If you hate it, you can always try a different one. But I'm telling you, this is a rock solid option. I think you will really, really appreciate what Linux can offer. The thing that I appreciate is that Linux doesn't have these weird little things under the covers like recall, where they're going to take a screenshot of your screen every second and send it to themselves. They don't have advertising in their applications. They don't have advertising on the system. You don't have advertising in your menu bar. You don't have advertising popping up just because they felt like it. It's really under your control, what you see, what you don't see, and what you get. And that really makes it powerful. It's one of the greatest open source projects that has ever been. I mean, really and truly, when you think about how many people work and contribute to Linux and how big it has gotten to be and how good it really is, it's just absolutely mind-blowing. And they continue to come out with amazing, incredible, powerful kernel and software and desktop environments, and it's just so great. I just want you to think about it. If you haven't already thought about it, please give it some thought. If you're still sitting on Windows 10 right now, please go and get something to update. I mean, if you go to Windows 11, that's your choice. I get it. Sometimes that's just the easy path. Just pay attention. Pay attention to what Microsoft's doing. Pay attention to what the world is looking at. I hope this was good for you. I hope that you got something out of it. And if you did, please tell your friends about it so they can come along the open source journey with us. And I'll talk to you next time.